sun rose gently over the small village of Meadowbrook, casting a warm golden hue across the dew-soaked fields. In a modest home on the outskirts of the village lived Ravi, a young student with dreams as vast as the horizon he often gazed at. Ravi wanted to become a scientist, not just any scientist, but one who would create solutions for problems that plagued humanity. Yet, like many students, Ravi felt overwhelmed by the sheer size of his dream. Ravi's days were often filled with distractions. He would start studying, only to be lured away by his phone or the chatter of friends. At the end of each day, he felt a pang of guilt, knowing he hadn't done enough to get closer to his dream. One evening, as he stared at the pile of unfinished homework, his grandfather entered the room. A wise and patient man, his grandfather had always been a source of inspiration for Ravi. "What's troubling you, Ravi?" his grandfather asked, his voice calm and soothing. "Grandpa," Ravi sighed, "I want to achieve so much, but I feel like I'm stuck in the same place. I don't know where to start. My dream feels too big." The old man smiled and gestured for Ravi to follow him outside. They walked to the backyard, where an old oak tree stood tall, its branches stretching wide as if trying to touch the sky. The tree had been there for as long as Ravi could remember. "Do you see this tree, Ravi?" his grandfather asked. Ravi nodded. "Of course, Grandpa. It's huge. It's been here forever." "Do you know how it started?" his grandfather asked. Ravi shook his head. His grandfather bent down, picked up a tiny acorn, and held it out to Ravi. "This is how it began. Just a small seed. It didn't become this mighty oak overnight. Day by day it grew, sometimes so slowly you wouldn't even notice. But it never stopped growing." Ravi looked at the acorn in his hand, turning it over thoughtfully. "The same is true for your dreams, Ravi," his grandfather continued. "Big dreams aren't achieved in a single leap. They're built step by step, habit by habit. What you do every day shapes what you will become." That night, Ravi couldn't stop thinking about his grandfather's words. He decided to start small, just like the acorn. He made a list of simple habits he could follow daily. Studying for 1 hour without distractions, reading 1 page of a science book, and reflecting on what he learned before bed. At first, it wasn't easy. The temptation to skip a day or give up entirely was strong. But every time Ravi felt like stopping, he would recall the oak tree and remind himself that even the smallest effort counted. Slowly but surely, his habits began to take root. Weeks turned into months. Ravi's 1 hour of focused study became 2. His single page of reading turned into a chapter, and his understanding of science deepened in ways he never thought possible. More importantly, he noticed a change in himself. He felt more disciplined, more confident, and more in control of his life. One day, his teacher announced a science competition. The task was to create a project that addressed a real-world problem. Ravi decided to participate, using the knowledge he had gained from his daily habits. He spent weeks working on his project, applying the same consistent effort that had become second nature to him. On the day of the competition, Ravi presented his project, a water filtration system made from affordable and eco-friendly materials. The judges were impressed, not just by his invention, but by his deep understanding of the subject. Ravi won first place, and his project was selected for a national-level competition. When Ravi returned home that evening, he found his grandfather waiting for him under the oak tree. Clutching the trophy tightly, Ravi ran to his grandfather and hugged him. "I did it, Grandpa," he exclaimed. "Yes, you did," his grandfather said, his eyes twinkling with pride. "But remember, this is just the beginning. Keep nurturing your habits, and you'll continue to grow, just like this tree." Over the years, Ravi's small daily habits paved the way for even greater achievements. He went on to become a renowned scientist, fulfilling his dream of making a difference in the world. And every time he faced a new challenge, he would think of the oak tree and the lesson his grandfather taught him. Big dreams are built on the foundation of small, consistent actions.
Do like and subscribe this channel if you love your puppy.